So in this video, we're going to make progress from where we stopped. Yeah, so now we're able to record, store data in our local storage. So what we'll try to do here is to see how we can access those data, get those data from our local storage and display on our screen. So it's going to be very quick, easy, and fast. So let's just get started with that. All right. So what I'm going to do first is on this page. So I'm just going to add a div here at the bottom just um, to show the people that are being added. Okay. So I'm going to give this an idea of accounts. So yeah, an idea of account. All right. Let's see. So on top of these, you can have like an H1. Let's do an H1 tag here. That would state all accounts. So let's save this and see what we have. Yeah, something like this. So I'll just display all of this in. So when the user puts in their details, you have it displayed in a card, but it's not really such a big deal. But I just let's run through that quickly. Okay. So I'll come to this and this is where we stopped the last time. And all I'm going to do here is to get all accounts. Okay. So how do we go about this? So what I'm going to do simply is to get my ID account, and I'm going to go to the local storage, which we have here. So let's see. Go to the local storage, go to application, and I'll find a way to display all of this data on our page, right? So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So let's come back here. And let's do counts. So I want to get this account by ID. Yes. Element by ID. Counts. Okay. Now I'll just create a simple function to get all elements by ID, right? So this function, what can I call it? I can call it get all accounts. It's fine. Get all accounts. That should be a double C. Get all accounts. So this is the basic function, and all it does is I'm getting all items from local storage here. If you remember, I'm getting this data. So I'll just take this data coming from local storage. If there is data, if there's no data, it will give me an empty array. But if it has data, I'm going to look over those arrays using like a map function, and I'll display those on a card. Okay. So let's go about that. So I'll give this let value equals to, this is just basically JavaScript. And I'm going to map through this data.map. So this data are coming with all the data from local storage. Remember, to get data from local storage, you need to use the local storage or get item and pass the key value, which is this. So the key you can see here is account, and these are the values, right? So pass the key and we'll pass the data. When we pass it, it will be stored here. And so I'm going to map through that data, and I will get an item. So I'm going to iterate over this item using the map function. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this value here I've initiated, and I'm going to add, because they can be more than one. So that's what this plus equal to means. And what I'm just going to do here is I'm going to loop over that. Okay. So I'm just going to create like a div here. And I'm going to insert it as an HTML, inner HTML into this place. As you can see, this is an empty div. So I'm going to use inner HTML to pass that data into this place. So let's just walk through it together. So just take this div. Okay. And I'm just going to pass them as p tags. So let's see. Pass them as p tags. So what am I passing? I'm going to pass all those details. What are the details coming from? Coming from the backend. So I want the first name and last name first. So I can do something like this. I can say name. Name is first name. So I'm going to pass the first name, which is item. So this is more like a loop. I think we've done map function for previous lessons. Sorry. Item dot first name. That's what I wanted to type. Yeah, that's first name. Then I'm gonna pass item dot last name. So this will put your first name and last name on the same line. Yeah. So the next thing I'm gonna do here, so let me duplicate this line. Next thing I'm gonna do here is the next one I'm gonna pass is my email or my username. I can pass my username. So I'm gonna say item. Item means this individual one. Item dot user. Yeah. So the next thing I'm gonna pass in is item dot email. Item dot email. Oh, sorry. I need to change this to username. Let's change this to email. Then I think it's just one left. So I'm not passing the password. I'm gonna pass in the bio. Okay. So the last one will be bio. Dot bio. Okay. So yeah, so this is the first step. And now what we are doing is simply here is to map over this data that's coming from local storage. And I think the final thing I need to do, since I've gotten this by ID, sorry, I didn't do document here. It's a mistake. The document does get element by ID, just like we did here. Not here, up here, just like all of this. Okay, so I've gotten this account, and next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass it into the HTML. So currently we have this here. So using inner HTML, we can pass this data to replace this empty stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do accounts. I'm gonna do accounts dot inner HTML is equal to this value. So this value contains this. Okay, this value contains this. And when I iterate over this value, I want to pass it into this bottom after all accounts. So I want them to account to be displayed here. Okay, so if I save this now, that's what we'll have. Okay. So I'm gonna refresh this page. This is supposed to return some value. So let me look at console. If there's any problem. Mm, okay. Mm, pounds. So this is an idea for pounds. Why is this not displaying? Take this away. Okay. So let me see why this is not coming up. So let me try loading this again. So let me push this to live server. Expect. Yeah, so I'm not calling this function. So I just initiated this function. You know, you need to call your function for it to work. Okay. So I just drag this here and call this function. So get all accounts. So when I save this, and boom, we have this. Okay. So this is the name, username, email, and password. Okay. So I need to put this in a card or something. You can decide to leave it like that if you want to. But if you create another account, let me see if there can be a reload. Mm. So when you click on submit, so what I'll do, yeah, this is basically JavaScript, but I think it's cool. So where's the submit function? Yeah. So what I'll do here, when someone click on submit and it does all of this, I want the page to be reloaded. So let me see. Window dot location dot reload. So this function here to reload your window. Okay. So let's try something. Okay. So I'm going to create another account. I don't want to use the same email. Let me use a different email. So I can do um John. Let me do something else. Let's do something like Daniel Jackson. Okay. And I'm gonna use the username of Daniel Jackson. Gonna give a email of Daniel Johnson at yahoo.com. Then I'm gonna give you the password of 12345. The password of Daniel is simply amazing. All right. So when we submit, let's see what happens. The page reloads and boom, it's here. Comes immediately. So I'm going to give this some styling. I'm going to put it in some kind of cards. So I think this is good. It has a lot of application, right? So what made the page reload after adding it is this function here. And what this function does is we just take the data from local storage, we map over it, and we display each. If there are 10, we are going to map over this. Just this more like a loop. It loops over this multiple times until we have all the data displayed. Okay. So I'm just going to add a class of card here. Card. So I've done this CSS already. So this card just have a background color of this, almost white, a border radius of 5 pixels for the side curves, a border of this color, 1 pixel solid. I gave it a padding to give some space inside. I gave margin right and margin right of 1 em to add some space then. Font size, I want font size to be big. So let's see what we have now. So we have these big cards of the name, username, email, and bio. And I'm going to add just one more. So let me close this. I'm going to add one more, and I'll call this person Sam Davids. Okay. Sam Davids. Sam Davids at yahoo.com. And password 12345. And Sam is a fashion designer. Okay. And when I click submit, boom, Sam Davids, yeah. So this is just a simple video to show you how you can display data. So regardless of the project you built, if it's just a book collecting data from users, whatever form you can, I think this applicable, right? So that's all. Thank you.